Hey lovelies! So if you can believe it, after more than 5 years of making YouTube videos, I have never ever shared a what I eat in a day video. I know that sounds kind of strange because most YouTubers do them really regularly, but I just feel like I haven't gotten around to it. That being said, a lot of the comments lately have been asking for this type of video, especially since I had baby Elle. So finally today, we are doing a what I eat in a day video. But not what you eat in a day, what I eat in a day, right? It's been a little while since you guys have seen baby Elle, and as you can see, she is not a baby anymore. She thinks she's quite the big girl. She's eating solid foods now, and she is a dancy, bubbly little baby. I'll show you, she can even sit on her own. You wanna show everyone what a big girl you are? Sit down, sit down. Show everyone what a big girl you are. Look, Mom, no hands. Of course, it makes sense if you're doing a what I eat in a day video to start with the first thing you eat in a day, breakfast. You ready to start cooking? It's about time you earned your keep in the kitchen. What do you think we should make? Do you want some scrambled eggs? Yeah, you ready to have some food? Whether it was before I had baby Elle or since I have had baby Elle, it is super important to me that my breakfast be made in 5 minutes or less. You might not know this about me, but I'm a total morning person and I like to be really, really productive in the morning. And that's why scrambled eggs are usually my go-to. The good news is baby Elle, since she started eating some solid foods, loves scrambled eggs as well. So I'll usually make scrambled eggs for both of us. What's not to love? Making scrambled eggs is pretty simple. You crack some eggs into a bowl, give them a whisk, and then cook them up on the stove. They take no time to cook. I will usually make both mine and Elle's scrambled eggs at the same time, and then once I pulled hers out of the pan, I'll add extra flavor in mine, like some chives and a little bit of shredded cheddar cheese, just to make them extra good. I love using my kitchen scissors to chop my chives, saves a ton of time. Maybe you've seen this hack before. If not, hopefully it'll make your life in the kitchen a little easier as it does mine. And then once my eggs are ready, I just eat them up with some avocado as well as some blueberries. How great is that? And I should mention that both avocado and blueberries are two foods that I eat each and every single day. Not only are they both loaded with nutrition, but neither requires any sort of preparation. So they're really, really easy to eat in the morning. Now I will say, I have given baby Elle a few cut up blueberries to try, and she mostly likes them, but a few times she's found a really tart blueberry, and you should see the pucker face she makes, something like that. It's pretty adorable. Do you want to sing everyone your favorite song? Can you do it? The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. So my current lunch obsession is one that is perfect for meal prep. It's this incredible salad that is made with some roasted sweet potato, beautiful kale, some cabbage, and some cooked quinoa, so it's got lots of protein. So you guys might not know this about me, but I actually spent quite a few years as a vegetarian, and I still try to be really mindful about how much meat I'm eating. So I try to make sure that at least 2 of the 3 meals I eat in a day are actually vegetarian, and that's why I love this lunch salad so much. I like to start by prepping my sweet potato. I just peel it up and roast it in the oven. You actually don't have to peel your sweet potatoes at all. You can totally leave the skin on. There's lots of fiber and nutrients in the skin. I cut my sweet potato into cubes and then just toss it with a little bit of oil, some salt and pepper, and get it into the oven at 375 degrees for about 30 minutes or so, or just until that sweet potato is nice and tender. This is really, really simple, guys. You kind of can't beat it. While my sweet potatoes are cooking, I get to work on my dressing. This is the salad dressing that I am currently using almost every day. It's quick and simple, but funny enough, I haven't yet shared it on the channel, so I'm excited to share it with you guys now. It all starts with some oil. I have become a huge fan of avocado oil thanks to my dear friend Alicia from Mind Over Munch. I used to use olive oil in this dressing, but I found the olive oil was a bit strong tasting, whereas avocado oil has a much milder flavor. To that, I'm gonna add some apple cider vinegar as well as some honey. You could use some agave here as well if you wanted to keep this dressing vegan, totally up to you. And I hit that with a little bit of Dijon mustard as well, some salt, some pepper, a quick whisk, and it is ready to be poured over any kind of salad you're making. Exactly. The base for this salad is some nice green kale, as well as some thinly sliced red cabbage. Both of these foods are foods that I eat each and every day. I used to be a total kale hater, I will admit. For years, I did not eat kale at all, but this salad actually made me a believer, so hopefully it can make you a believer as well. To that, I like to add a little bit of cooked quinoa. It just amps up the protein factor in this salad. And then we can just pour over our delicious dressing and give this all a toss. So because this salad is loaded with really hearty vegetables, it sort of behaves more like a slaw, which is why you can make it in advance and then leave it in the fridge in the dressing and it's still good to eat. So don't be afraid to toss it ahead of time. Once the salad is prepped, you can bring it all together with those roasted sweet potatoes, and I like to finish it off with some slivered almonds as well. Almonds, another food on my eat every day list. This yummy salad is actually very similar to the delicious vegan power bowl I have in my cookbook, Meals Made Easy, which of course, if you haven't checked it out yet, I definitely hope you will. The only difference between the vegan power bowl in the book is that I use a balsamic vinaigrette instead of this apple cider vinegar vinaigrette. Both work really, really well and are super tasty. Next, you may or may not know this about me, but my favorite meal of the day is snack time. And my snack is usually the same pretty much every day. I usually eat a nice crunchy apple cut into slices. I serve that up with some almond butter. Sometimes I dip my apple into the almond butter. Sometimes I actually just eat the almond butter on a spoon. I will admit it, I'm that kind of person. And then I like to round that out with a little bit of my very favorite food, some old white cheddar cheese, such a perfect complement with that apple. You know who else loves apples? Elle. In fact, she will actually sit there with a slice of apple and slowly but surely just gnaw away at it until it is totally gone. It's kind of amazing to watch. Finally, guys, let's talk dinner. Dinner is the one time of day where I actually like to cook something up nice and fresh. The go-to in my house over the last few months has actually been this really yummy Korean-inspired chicken dish. But before we start on our chicken, I always like to make my rice first. This is a mistake my husband Greg actually makes whenever he makes this dinner. He'll often forget to make the rice until the chicken is already cooking, and then the rice isn't ready when the chicken is ready, and it's all a bad scene. You have to start your rice first, and that way it will be ready when your chicken is ready. The thing that really sets this chicken recipe apart is this amazing sauce that is a combination of tamari, which is basically gluten-free soy sauce, some rice vinegar, some honey or agave for sweetness, a little chili garlic sauce, definitely the secret to making this dish amazing, and finally, a whole lot of freshly grated ginger. You just give that all a mix, and then you can get to work on cooking up your chicken. The real secret to success in this recipe is using boneless, skinless chicken thighs. A lot of people love boneless, skinless chicken breasts, but I will tell you, when it comes to flavor, nothing beats boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I start by heating up a little oil in a skillet on my stove. Once the oil is nice and hot, I get my chicken into the pan and cook it for maybe between 4 to 6 minutes or until the chicken is nice and brown on one side. Then I flip my chicken over and let it fry up until it's golden on the other side. That browning is very important to the success of this dish. Now it is time for the magic to really happen. We are going to add half our sauce into the pan like so, and then we're going to let our chicken cook up in that sauce, flipping it regularly so it starts to get coated. And as the sauce reduces, it's going to get stickier and stickier and concentrate in flavor. Good things happen when that happens. Now, to make sure your chicken is cooked through, you want to use a meat thermometer and see that it reaches 165 degrees Fahrenheit. That is really, really important. That's the only way to know your chicken is cooked properly. And then I like to just serve it up with that yummy jasmine rice and whatever steamed greens I have in the fridge. Some asparagus, some broccoli would work well. Today I'm using green beans, which Elle also happens to love. She could just eat green beans all day long if I let her. And there you go, dinner is served. This is absolutely one of our real favorites. It literally comes together in less than 30 minutes and is so super delicious. I personally like to finish it off with a couple squares of dark chocolate with some roasted almonds. I may or may not have told you guys that since becoming pregnant, all of my salty cravings that I used to be known for, things like chips and popcorn, have been replaced by this super strong craving for sweets, particularly chocolate. And there you go, lovelies. That's pretty much what I eat in a day. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, let me know in the comments. You guys know how much I love hearing from you. And if you give any of these tasty ideas a try, don't hesitate to tweet me, Instagram me, or Facebook me a photo, because you know I love seeing your kitchen creations. All of these tasty recipes will be linked in the description box, so you can find them there. And finally, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, because there's lots more deliciousness where this came from. Bye, everybody. You want to blow them a kiss? Mwah! Say bye.